I never thought my job as a home healthcare nurse would make me question my own sanity. But that's exactly what happened when Mr. Erickson moved in next door. It started innocently enough, in our quiet Laurelhurst neighborhood in Portland, Oregon. I'm Maya, 29 years old, and I've spent years helping stroke patients recover, always checking for those little signs of asymmetry in their faces or movements. It's a habit I can't shake, especially after what happened with my dad. I ignored his droop that day, thought he was just tired, and he ended up disabled for life. Guilt like that sticks with you, makes you see problems everywhere, even when they're not there. Or so I thought. That first day, I was coming home from a long shift when I saw him outside his new house, just 20 feet from mine, struggling with a stack of moving boxes. His left face sagged in a classic droop. His leg dragged stiffly behind him like it weighed a ton, and when he spoke, his words came out slurred and halting. "Could use some help with these," he managed, one side of his mouth pulling up in what was supposed to be a smile. My training kicked in immediately. I specialize in stroke rehab, so I offered to grab a box. "When did it happen?" I asked, trying to sound casual. 6 months ago, he replied, still recovering. But something nagged at me right away. His paralysis was too perfect, exactly 50%. Real strokes are messier, uneven. One side may be 30% affected, the other 70%. And when one box started to slip from his pile, his weak left hand shot out and gripped it firmly, knuckles whitening for a split second before he let it go slack again, switching to his right. He caught my glance and chuckled slurredly. "Slippery handles." I nodded, but my stomach twisted. Did he just fake that weakness? Over the next week, I couldn't help but watch him from my window. The houses are old, walls thin, views clear across the narrow yards. Every morning, he'd step out for the paper, waving with his right hand while his left hung limp at his side. Polite, harmless. But on day 5, I caught him through his kitchen window while I was making coffee. He didn't see me. He was pouring milk into his mug with his left hand, steady as a rock, no tremor, no hesitation. Then the doorbell rang, some delivery guy, and in an instant, he swapped the cup to his right, let his left arm drop, and his face. Oh God, his face. I hadn't seen it fully until then. It was symmetrical, normal, until he glanced toward the door. In half a second, the left side slackened, eye drooping, mouth pulling down like he'd flipped a switch. Not gradual, not natural, like putting on a mask. Mechanical, precise. No stroke patient controls their paralysis like that. It's involuntary, messy. This was rehearsed, performed. My heart pounded as he shuffled to the door, dragging his leg again, slurring thanks to the delivery man. Why the act? Who was he fooling? That night, through the shared wall, I heard him on the phone. No slur. His voice was crystal clear, articulate, discussing the previous neighborhood and how long before they noticed this time. Notice what? I dug into public records the next day. No hospital admissions under his name, no rehab discharges, nothing. Then I found the articles, chilling stories of con artists faking disabilities to gain trust, burrow into homes, steal identities, or worse. Missing persons cases where women vanished after helping the disabled neighbor. Same MO. Fake stroke symptoms, sympathy as a weapon. He'd knocked on my door day 3, asking to borrow sugar, eyes lingering on my medical ID badge dangling from my lanyard. "You're a nurse? How lucky for me. I might need your help sometime." It felt wrong then, but now. He knew I lived alone. He saw me as vulnerable, someone who'd lower her guard for a harmless stroke survivor. The mimicry wasn't just a con, it was camouflage for a predator. Things escalated fast after that. He called one evening, voice slurred over the phone. Fell. Can't get up. Please help. I hesitated but went over, professional instinct. Found him on the floor in his living room, positioned awkwardly on a soft rug. No visible bruises, pupils sharp and undilated. No sign of shock. I'll call 911, I said, backing toward the door. Then his voice shifted. No slur, clear and cold. That won't be necessary. He stood up smoothly, no drag, no stiffness, smiling with perfect symmetry. You've been watching me, Maya. Smart nurse. Too smart. I bolted home, locked everything, but the next day, my mailbox had my spare key inside. How? A photo of me sleeping through my bedroom window and a note in flawless handwriting. Stroke patients sometimes recover. I'm recovering quite well. He waved from his porch later, using both hands, no pretense. The worst part was the neighbors. I'd confided in Mrs. Hargrove next door, told her about his inconsistencies, but he got to them first. At the block party that weekend, people avoided me. Whispers about that paranoid nurse harassing the poor disabled man. Mr. Thompson pulled me aside. He's recovering from a stroke, Maya. You, of all people, should know better than to make accusations. He's vulnerable. They bought his act completely. The slurred speech, the limp. They even helped him with groceries now. I was the outsider, the one stressed from work, seeing things that weren't there. Isolated, just like he planned. I installed cameras, changed locks, but one night I woke to him standing outside my window, face fully normal, staring in through the rain-streaked glass. He mouthed, "They'll think you fell down the stairs. Tragic accident for the stressed nurse. I'll be the concerned neighbor who found you." I called the police. They arrived, found him in his house, back in full stroke mode, wheelchair-bound, tears in his eyes about the mean lady next door. The officers apologized to him, warned me about false reports. I couldn't prove anything. Faking disability isn't a crime. I moved out that week, crashing with a friend across town. But months later, a news report popped up. Another woman missing in a Portland suburb, last seen helping a stroke survivor with his mail. Same pattern, same predator, still out there, mimicking weakness to lure in the kind-hearted. And I wonder, how many more will fall for it before someone notices?